doing, baby girl, tonight? We got a podcast, baby girl, I gotta tell ya, it's out of sight. Have you ever heard of Shane's podcast? I tell you, sweet baby, it's a blast. So come on and let's listen, come on and let's listen, come on, baby, listen to Shane tonight. Come on, baby, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby, baby, listen to Shane tonight. You know where I'm going with it. It's a very special high note that I can hit. Only I can hit that. It's because I have a special throat box. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 171 of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. I am indeed the host of that podcast. I thank you for tuning in. I can't believe it is a real testament to your sanity, your good taste, but your sanity as well, that you tune in each and every week to this podcast. And gee whiz, I sure appreciate it. We got a cavalcade of stories to get to. I mean, this could go 145, 2 hours. I hope it doesn't. I really don't want that to happen. But that might be 2 bathroom breaks. That might be 2 bathroom breaks. We've got your comments. Here's a few things we will not be talking about. A guy that's in one of the illegals that's in the Phil Anselmo band illegal says he feels really bad about that time at the Dime Dash when he did the white thing, you know, that he was drinking white wine backstage. He feels bad about that. We won't be talking about that. Tours coming up. Deftones announced August, September tour. Sleep Token. They put out a brand new single called Emergence. Was it Emergency? I can't remember. Emergence. And a new album in May, and they are heading out on tour September, October. I think I might go see that. I think I might do it. But we've got Dokken. We've got, Sabotage. News we're not talking about. Sabotage says they're probably going to go heavy with that older stuff. And I know there's fans that absolutely love the older Sabotage stuff, but when they came out with the Edge of Thorns or whatever, I was gone by then. But let's get to those stories that we are going to be doing for you on my behalf. First, I want to bring up Billy Corgan. Before we get to Danny Corgan here, is Danny Corgan, Danny Isaac, is he half brother to Bill Burr and Billy Corgan? His daddy made it over there and got Danzig's mom too. But I've watched all of his podcasts, or whatever those are, interview shows or whatever on YouTube. Loved every one of them. He's very good. I'm just telling you, I'm turning into a Billy Corgan head. I just think he's a great guy. Another story we won't be talking about. Rudy Sarzo says he has known about Ozzy Osbourne's final concert since last October. So he's better than all of you for knowing that. Volbeat, they've also announced a tour as well with Hellstorm. I see that right off to my side. Let's look at Guy Tough. I mean, he's a built dude there. That's the shot you want, right? He is an older man. He has a paunch down below. And that's where you want to get that image. You want to get it right there. You get the beefy boys in there. You get the big shoulders in there. You get the big puffed chest. You keep that area that, let's face it. The stomach, it's just one of those areas you just don't want to work out. You can do this all day long. I can lay there all fucking day long and say, yeah, so feed me a banana, whatever. And I'm just sitting there doing this all day long. It's the stomach that you really need to work on out of all of it, and that's the least one you want to do. Another thing that I just forgot about before we get into these damn stories is I had in my email a picture that I took of the orb when the sun's still up, so you guys can say, holy shit, there it is, and it's right there. And there's no way that it's a star or anything else because it's right there. I'm going like this, and it's right there. I'm pointing at it. Did you watch the video that I did on where I introduced you to Olivia Newton-Orb, who I may or may not be falling in love with? It is the weirdest thing. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I have a star-crossed lover. I have a star-crossed lover, and I've forgotten all about her. But she's looking down upon me, and she can't wait to get her hands on me. Because it's been 52 goddamn years. It might be even longer. It might be like, 75, 80, 85 years before my sweet alien lover can have at me again. And she wants to. The Glenn Dan Man, the Danzig man right here before your eyes, rips bands, again, who returned to performing live after completing a finals tour.
It's kind of a scam, if you ask me.
In a new interview with Radioactive Mike Z, we've talked about him before, host of the 96.7 KCAL, is that in California, FM programmed Wired in the Empire. What's this? Website blocked due to port scam. Close that. Thank you, my malware bites. I think I clicked on one of these dang ads in here. Wired in the Empire, Glenn the Dan Man Danzig was asked if he would ever consider playing one big final show before calling it quits, like Ozzy Osbourne has announced he will do earlier in July in Birmingham, England. The 69-year-old singer responded as transcribed by the fine and fantastic, top-notch, blabbermouth.net.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I remember when Danzig went out with Ozzy. That was supposed to be his final tour. And then he's done a bunch of final tours since then, so I don't know.
And go give that plasma. Oh, is that what you get? If I go down there, I can get 200. I get 200. Wait a minute. If I donate my plasma, I get $200. Well, hell, they've been hiding that secret. No, I don't like that when the ad does that. Yeah, thanks. Let's get that blank spot.
If it's going to be final, it should be final. If you say it's going to be final, you'll see all these bands announcing what they say will be the last tour. And then they're back again 2 years later. Oh no, I don't like that a damn bit. And it's kind of a scam, I think. So when it's final, and I say it's final, you better believe me, it will be final.
I love that he gets to the point. Doesn't he? He just tells you where the bear shits in the woods, that Danzig. The Girl Scouts come up to the door to knock on there. You ain't going to try and sell that guy cookies if you don't want the cookies. If you don't want some of those delicious ones with the chocolate stripes on them and they got the little cookie stuff on there. What are those called? Eskimo Fundies? Those are really good. I'm all right on the mints. I'm here. Everyone will say mints, dude. Mints are the best. But if Glenn Danny boy don't want to buy no Girl Scout cookies from you,
he said, I ain't got damn buying a damn thing from you. How did you get in my yard?
Referencing Danzig's upcoming string of live shows on the U.S. West Coast, which are set to take place in late March, Glenn said,
right now.
See, that's making me nervous because even when I hover over that, this thing's popping up. I'm very nervous about that now, guys. I got to tell you, I'm a freak like that. But you know what? For a good podcast, we'll just do it. Hell, the thing is still humming along here. That you can hear the fan in there. I
don't really tour anymore. I'll do a string of shows is what I do. Which I don't consider a tour. If it's like, 6 to 10 shows, I don't really consider that a tour. When I used to go out on tour, we would go out there for 3 or 4 months. We talked about this before, Shane, on your damn podcast you Danzig mentioned. They come home for a couple of weeks, a month, and then go back out again for another couple of months. That's touring. where you're hitting every city in the US of A, or in Germany, or Europe, or Scandinavia, wherever you're going. That's a tour. I mean, this is just a small string of shows here on the West Coast.
Asked if he would want to do one final show with it, have the big celebration where he would play with both Danzig and the Misfits. Danzig says,
I don't know about that one. I'm not thinking about that right now.
yeah, it's like every time I hover over one of these ads, my the malware bites. Got to have the thing on the computer that catches things. And I don't click nothing. I don't click it. If someone sends me a link or something in an email, a text, or nothing, let this be a note to you. Don't put links. I don't click them. I mean, the Patreon can, because I see the whole thing pops up. That was a good plug. Don't you think that was a good plug for the Patreon? During a recent during a recent appearance on Full Metal Jackie, she asked great questions. Nationally syndicated radio show, Glenn spoke about Danzig's upcoming West Coast tours. Support on the trek, which will include cities Danzig has not played in many years. Will come from down about. I like to say about, like he does.
I am about.
He's one of the few people I follow on TikTok. And Chromax asked if the upcoming tour dates will be all that Danzig will do this year, Danny. Full Metal Jackie here, coming in hot with a good question. Will this be the only shows that Danzig does this year? Just these little West Coast shows that you're doing?
I don't really like to go on tour. As you can see, I'm only doing 6 shows.
He's going to tell us the same damn thing he just told us a minute ago.
So just trying to get me to go and do a bunch of shows, I don't mind doing one-off here or there or whatever. But doing a bunch of shows, riding around on the bus.
Oh yes, he hated the bus. He doesn't like doing the tour bus.
I said, riding along on the bus, I've said it before, and damn it, now, Metal Jackie, I say it to you. I say it to you now, true and true to you. I say it to you. I know that we had to make up a Phoenix show last time, and they had to get canceled because there was the bus shortage.
Remember the bus shortage that they had? So they had to their whole damn thing was tinkered up because some knucklehead didn't remember to schedule the buses for the tour.
And he said, who the hell didn't get the damn buses? There's a bus shortage. And so basically, in order to get a bus, we had to move all the tour dates to the end of the tour. Our first dates on the tour to the end of the tour, and there wasn't an available venue in Phoenix that period of time. We'll make up the Phoenix show, and then we had a lot of fans asking why we haven't come up to the big Northwest and San Francisco. So we're trying to make that up. And it'll be it for a while.
Anyways, let's move on. Don. This popped up on my radar. We do have Gene Simmons coming up. We're going to talk about him. You can be his roadie for $12,000 if you want to do that. Spend a day lumping shit around. But I thought this was interesting. Don Dokken says he gave up 75% of his songwriting credits in order to appease. You don't know that name they're going to say, are you? Are you a smart wit? Do you know? Are you clever? George Lynch. I got to hear this story. Don Dokken, the name of the band, gave up 75% of his songwriting credits in order to appease George Lynch. This is going to get some fireworks going, isn't it? I think I witnessed young love breaking up on the bus today. And it was like a flashback, because I'm sitting at the very back of the bus. These high school kids get on the bus. They sit down, and the guy is just trying really, really hard, not having it. But then she was like, went to do a selfie or something with her phone. And I'm not just sitting there like, oh, yeah. Oh, what are they doing now? This is just out of my periphery, I keep an eye on everything. If someone gets up and pulls a screwdriver out or anything, I'm ready to go. When I get on the bus, I sit at the back. I meditate for about 10 minutes in the morning, because I got a fairly decent bus ride, and there's nobody really on it in the morning. But when I'm coming back, I'm eyes on. You remember the story I told you about that lady on the bus? It is my goddamn duty, as far as I'm concerned, to protect my people on that bus. And they are my people. Till I get a car, a really nice one. Oh, God, look at those grody people on the bus. Oh. No. Never going to do that. I got to find out what's going on with Don Dokken over here. And he is going, and George Lynch, someone's going to hit him up. Next interview he does, he's over on Eddie Trunk or something. He's going to ask George Lynch about it, and then it's going to get some, these are the sparks. In a March 8th interview, the original MTV VJ, Mark Goodman. So was I right last time around when I said that name and I thought it was him? Aboard this year's The 80s cruise, where, well, I guess we should follow up on the news with that. If you remember, last week we talked about Tammy Down's gal friend, and we weren't sure. We didn't speculate at all on what happened. Appears that she jumped. They have camera footage of it. Anyways, the 80s cruise. Dokken leader Don Dokken commented on the recent trend of rock artists releasing new singles every few months as opposed to putting out an album every few years. Don said, "You and I come from the school of kicking back and at home after a long day at work, getting a new album, put it on, flip it over, and listen to side A and B, because there's two sides to a record. I want to hear the whole kit and caboodle, the whole record." And that was my disappointment when a lot of my peers were putting out records in the 1980s. I'm like, okay, there's the hit, usually track 2 or 3 on side A. I'm not going to name names, but then I listen to the rest of the record and I'm like, it's not very good. I mean, there was a lot of that. There still is probably a lot of that. But now if you put out a record, you gotta have some good tunes on it, because you can't get away with that two singles and the rest of it can be garbage, because they gotta buy the record for those 2 songs. Okay, there's a hit, but the rest of it, well, it's kind of not very good. They had the hits you could see that they bought from somebody. A lot of these musicians were buying from a very famous song guy. And you go into a studio and they'll say, well, I got the chorus over here. I got a guitar riff over here. We never did that. Why would I want to record a song that somebody else wrote? Pieces. We never did that. Why would I want to record a song that somebody else wrote pieces and I have to stick it together? Every song on Dokken's albums was always written by us. Again, with that ad, it's almost like they're calling me. Shane, fill your pockets with money. You don't have to be broke anymore. Just give your fucking life essence. I mean, it is for a good cause. Donate, people that need plasma. I would, but it's like you are taking the juice that runs your body, but you're getting $200 for it. I mean, it's like, that is a fairly decent trade-off. And doesn't it just recalculate, whatever, your blood? Doesn't it rejuvenate, replenish? I mean, it's got to, right? Someone loses a limb, that's a lot of stuff that's in there, and then they solder it. or they, you know, someone gets a fucking hot pan from the campfire. Oh my God, the fucking bear just ate his leg. Hold him down. I mean, you're going to get that blood back because he still lost a lot of it. But thank God his friend was there to help him, and so he didn't damn die. Especially if you're camping, you're too far away from things. So then I can throw a lot of people under the bus. So-and-so wrote, look at the credits. This person wrote this song, this person wrote this song, this person wrote this song. So then when we had a little bit of a tiff because on Dokken's third album, 1985's Under Lock and Key, it just said in songwriting credits, Don Dokken, Don Dokken, Don Dokken, Don Dokken. And George Lynch, then Dokken guitarist, went ballistic. He went through the roof. So, at the last minute, you can look at the back and it says all songs written by Dokken. And Dokken is George Lynch, Jeff Pilson, and I went, oh, that's so petty. I mean, your name was Don. You just said your name 5 times in here. It's just so petty. I mean, it didn't matter who wrote the songs. It does kind of. Because I made a deal with the devil. Oh, you did? So you sold your soul? I always wondered about that. You know, it's like they get the Ouija board. You know, you always see it. Let me be a rock star and I'll oh God, let me be a rock star and I'll give you my soul. I remember my son's mother, when he was in high school, she was in the recording business, and she told me, whatever you do, keep your publishing. It's what Poison did. I ended up splitting the publishing 4 ways, like you should as a good boy, for everyone to have some. I really didn't know how publishing generated. So basically what I did, so he's being a stealer, or he's being unless he wrote most of that music. I mean, still, Don, if you wanted to keep a good band together, that's the way to do it. But if you're writing all the music and you could care less at who's in the band, then he's essentially saying, I only got 25% because I gave away 75%. But was it all to George Lynch? So basically what I did is I gave up 75% of every song. In My Dreams, It's Not Love, Alone Again, The Hunter, Kiss of Death. All good jams, huh? All those songs that I wrote, we split 4 ways. Well, because we were fighting all the time, me and George. And George was going this way, left, and he was listening to Monster Magnet, and I'm like, I like Monster Magnet, but I'm going In My Dreams. So we just said, okay, everything split 4 ways. Stop bitching, and that was it. That's how it went down. But I never realized who would write the hits. Fortunately, I wrote a lot of them hits. In February 2024, interview with Full in Bloom. You ever watch his channel on YouTube? You've got to. Mine you can't even find anywhere. If you're here, you're lucky. But I enjoy his videos from time to time. Full in Bloom former Dokken bassist Jeff Pilson was asked to respond to Don's claim that the singer wrote 80% of the Under Lock and Key record. Jeff said, that is bullshit. That is total bullshit. He did not write all that record. No freaking way. He is a valuable contributor. I'll give him that. And he wrote much of, like, In My Dreams. He came in with the chorus, and the chorus is great. But he had nothing to do with It's Not Love. Nothing to do with Unchain the Night. Pretty much nothing to do with Lightning Strikes Again. He did not write the whole record. He had a lot to do with a lot of it. As he should. But to say he wrote the whole thing, that's absolute bullshit. And he knows it deep down inside. Does he know it? Let's find out. It sounds like he's been trying to stir up attention to himself because he's got a new Dokken record or something to promote. Because it seems kind of desperate and weak. Oh, I just have to laugh. I mean, see, when people say that, I just have to laugh at it. They think you're ridiculous. That's like a super cut when they go, oh, I just laugh at it. And that's what Jeff's doing here. It's almost like an uppercut to the liver, you know. I just have to laugh at it. I mean, I don't understand it. I think it's kind of weird. Putting out a record is weird or what? I know he's resentful of the fact that we split everything equally. But if you would have had broken it down to what we did, I'm not sure. Maybe he would get a little, yeah. He'd get more than a quarter of it. Was really more a quarter of it was really broken up, but not enough more to make all those noises he's making now 30 years later, 40 years later. It's not noises, Jeffrey. He has valid points that he wants to make, even though he wants to have all the money. That's why he can have that beautiful Chinese garden in the back. Have you seen that beautiful koi garden he's got? Did we do a video? I think I did a video about where he takes us on a house tour. And I don't know if that's still available. I may have privated that because I heard Don Dokken was a freak that loved to. I have some Don Dokken videos that I privatized because I've heard that he's kind of an angry Danzig type that gets after you on YouTube. And I was like, I already got a strike from Danzig going on right now. I don't really want to get one from Don Dokken either. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. The Gene Man Simmons. Yes, indeed, you're seeing this. That's him. And you can be Gene Simmons' roadie for a day if that's something that you fancy. I mean, to do manual labor, you get to pay him a cool $12,500 to lump his shit around. And someone will do it. Because they've just got, I go month to month. You know what I mean? Full-time job, month to month going, am I going to make it? Am I going to make these bills? We'll find out. And somebody has $12,495 that they can just go, oh, it'll be fun. And I get to stand side stage while they play after I've, set up all the gear. And, as soon as they get done, Gene goes, hey.
Oh yeah, where do you think you're going? You gotta clean all this shit up now.
I mean, good on him. If he's got that kind of expendable cash and getting the fucking bills paid every month doesn't seem to... Man, you're living in a good place. You know what I mean? You're living in a good place if you're like, oh, I don't really... never think about the electric bill. Come to think about it, I should go and tear that envelope open and see what they are charging us every month. Because I'm always going, let me open my penny purse and see dump it out on the table and shit. Anyways, let's get into this. Why did I pick this up if I didn't take a drink?
Oh yeah, he's
Jane the Jane Man Cinnamons. Kiss bassist vocalist Gene Simmons is offering his fans a chance to be his roadie for a day during his upcoming tour with the Gene Simmons Band. And he's already going,
you know what would be great? Guys, let me tell you what would be great. Is if there was one of these guys in every town that we played at. So I would get an extra $12,000 every single night, plus everything I'm getting. Yeah. And I'd never have to touch a single thing.
It's amazing. The guy is a marketing genius. Gene Simmons Band. Simmons. Oh, this is good. We can get right on to other business. because we still got to do Iron Maiden, a bit of Iron Maiden news about Paul Di'Anno, and Rob Zombie's got a children's book that he based off of 1,000, whatever it was, House of 1,000 Corpses. Here's what you get with the Gene Simmons experience. My God, guys, I apologize for just... Sometimes my brains just escape me. Here's the package. $12,495. You are the personal assistant and band roadie for the day. Experience is limited to one per show and includes the following perks. So he's hoping to get, however long this tour is, he wants a sapsucker on every one. And I apologize if you're listening to this at some time in the future and you're going, I was one of those sapsuckers, Shane. And that really hurts me inside that you would say that. I'm not. It's fine, bro. Take it easy. It was a long time ago, man. Don't worry about it. You will meet up with Gene the Simmons Man, Gene Simmons and his band members early in the day, either at his hotel.
Is that room service or is that my roadie for a day?
Yes. Either at his hotel or a designated location to go over the band's show day schedule. So they're going to throw down a fucking binder in front of you. You're going to want to thumb through this, pal. You will be on the Gene Simmons Band team crew for the entire day. You will get a Gene Simmons Band crew member shirt and hat and must wear it. You will get a Gene Simmons Band crew member VIP laminated. You will have a meal with Sir Gene Simmons at his hotel room or backstage at the show. You're hoping for the hotel room, right? Chocolate strawberries. Let's see. You will arrive and load into the venue with the band. You will help the band set up for the show. And they've got, and Gene Simmons Band's just loving that, aren't they? They're just loving that idea. Some fucking guy standing there going, what do you want me to do now, guys? I spooled up those cables like you told me to do. I spooled them up. What do you want me to do now? And they're just going, bro. And they get to do that every night. That'll be fun for them. They'll love that. You will arrive and load in the venue with the band. You will help the band set up for the show. You will hang out backstage. You will sit in on the sound check. Gene Simmons will bring you on stage during the show and introduce you. Oh, that's worth the price of admission right there. And you and an entire audience. Gene Simmons just goes, this guy paid $12,000, and he'll do this too. This guy paid $12,000. Somebody show me a video, because he's going to do a live clip. This guy right here, this sapsucker right here, paid $12,500 to come and set this stuff up for you today. I know he's going to do it, and the guy's going to go, hi. Yeah. And maybe it could be a gal too, but I don't think so, right? Is there any women that would, if you're listening to this podcast anytime in the future or past, tell me if indeed you are a female of the female persuasion and you would indeed pay that price to do that. And don't say, yeah, Shane, because I think that the bass player's name's Tony McTonenberg. He's hot, so I do. No. Give me good, valid reasons. Gene Simmons will bring you on stage and introduce you. You will get a set list signed by Mr. Gene Simmons. You could take a photo throughout your entire experience. Oh, you may bring one guest. You're like, oh God, could you imagine, honey, you're going with me. She's like, I don't even like Kiss. And now I got to spend all goddamn day with you? You were bad enough. Now I got to spend it with Kiss too. You may bring 4 items for Gene Simmons to sign. No instruments, no instrument parts, etc. And you get Gene Simmons' Kiss rehearsal used bass, signed by Gene Simmons. Kiss, what does that mean? Kiss rehearsal used? I don't, is he, the Gene Simmons band? Did they mean Gene Simmons band rehearsal? I mean, the guitar signed and stuff makes it a little more palatable, doesn't it? It's still not worth $12,000, whatever. Let's get into Iron Maiden real quick. Then we're going to get into a splash of Rob Zombie. You know him? He does a dig through the ditches and burn through me britches and slam in the back of me Dragulaire. He's got a book, and then we're getting into your comments, and you're loving that. Did I already tell you about the email that had a picture? Yes, okay. Because I haven't looked at the comments yet, but I do believe that Johnny B said something about he was going to talk a little bit, do a little thing about Orban. We're Orban it up around here. Iron Maiden Steve Harris remembers Paul Di'Anno. He had this self-destruct button. Well, we got to hear about Paul Di'Anno's self-destruct button, right? Iron Maiden bassist Steve Harris has paid tribute to the band's former singer Paul Di'Anno, who died last October at the age of 66. And again, he's not dead, he's just left his meat sack, okay? It's not a bit as big a deal as we're making it out to be. Somebody will go, oh, thank God. You know, I've been worried about death my whole life. I mean, I'm hung up on it. And now Shane just says that I'm just leaving the meat sack. It's true. Speaking to UK's classic rock magazine, that's a perfectly proper name. Classic rock magazine. Stephen Harris. Steve said, Paul was a lovely rogue. He liked to annoy me by dressing up like adamant. Jesus. What other tunes does Adamant have? Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? Oh, what's that one about? We're just following ancient history. If I strip for you, would you strip for me? Because, of course, it's times like these, the good heavens know, that we used to not have so many clothes. So let's loosen up with a playful tease, like they used to do through the centuries. This is the kind of shit I have in my brain. Someone's going to say, you got the words wrong, Shane. Anyways. Why, he used to dress up like Adamant. Anything to wind me up. Got the hots for Adamant? He liked to ruffle a few feathers. Like, put it that way, I'd say. And ruffle he did. He used to call me Hitler. Jesus. Are you really? I've been called the Ayatollah and Sergeant Major, but Hitler takes the biscuit, really. But I think where Paul was going with that is because Steve Harris is he's the ruler of the band. So he was just, nobody wants to be compared to that piece of garbage, right? And if you do, get the fuck out of here. Be like, oh, Shane, I do. I think he's good. Referencing Di'Anno's early work with Maiden, Harris said, Paul's voice had a certain quality to it, a rawness. But he didn't look after himself. He had this self-destruct button, and I got the impression that he never really believed he had it in him to go to the next level. I think there was an insecurity there. Could be. But when you got old Bruce Dickinson, you guys dropped that a couple of times. Well, we got that. Have you ever heard that guy from Samson over there? He's quite nice. He's got a quite nice vocal. Maybe it hurt his feelings. You ever think of that, Steve? You ever think that maybe you guys talking about how great the singer for Samson was might have hurt his feelings a little bit? You ever fucking think about that? You ever take 2 seconds out of your time? Ever think about his heart and his feelings? Mr. Paul Di'Anno, rest in peace. He could be in this room right now going, bloody right, Shane, thank you. Bladen bloody right. We are deeply saddened to learn about the passing of Paul Di'Anno. Is this like an super old story? Remember, I've done that before, too, where it's like, Shane, that's from, it says March 12th. Oh, get these ads out of the way. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I think there were some insecurities there. Shortly after Paul's death, Iron Maiden issued a statement in which the band wrote, "We are deeply saddened to learn about the passing of Paul Di'Anno. Paul's contribution to Iron Maiden was immense and helped us on the path we have been traveling as a band for almost 5 decades. His pioneering presence as a frontman and a vocalist, both on stage and on our first 2 albums, will be very lovingly and fondly." There's that pop-up again. Freaking me out. I don't like viruses. I don't go anywhere. His pioneering presence as a frontman and vocalist, both on stage and off, as we said, were very fondly remembered not just by us, but by fans around the world. We are very grateful to have had the chance to catch up a couple of years ago, while you might have seen that publicity photo of me lovingly bending over and giving Paul Di'Anno a nice scrunchy squeeze, a big bear hug, to say, "I'm Steve Harris, this is me old singer, and he's waiting back in the dressing room for me." Okay, we're done with that, guys. Rest in peace there. Oh, she's due. We're going to have a baby soon. Probably had it by now, Shane. That's an old photo. He died a year ago. That baby's born. It popped up again, man. Due to compromised. Let's get into his Braden Batty book. Rob Zombie Jesus. He's always, see, even in the cartoons, he's got his wife in there. He can't go 10 feet without Sherry Moon Zombie being right there. She's in every movie, every video. And he says, says, you know what, I got a good idea, Sherry. Oh, what's that, Rob? I'm going to teach kids how to spell. With a House of 1,000 Corpses Carradine book. Isn't that a great idea? Oh, you have nothing but good ideas, Rob. I can tell you that now. You have nothing but good ideas. And the best one that you have is putting me in all the movies and videos. Keep doing that, honey. Hey. What's this, Spirit Box? We're going to roll down here. Here's some more news we ain't talking about. Spirit Box, Courtney Plant explains lyrical concept for the new album, Tsunami Sea. And it's getting good reviews, everybody. Spirit Box, yes? Rob Zombie has released a new spelling book titled Z is for Zombie. Brilliant. Learning to spell with the House of 1,000 Corpses friends. Oh, that's going to have old Sid Haig in it. Mr. the Clown guy, what was his name? Buster? I'm going to tell you a story right now that has to do with the Sid Haig. I had an awesome Sid Haig t-shirt. And I'm ashamed to tell this story. I am absolutely ashamed, but I'm going to tell you something because you're my friends. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep continuing to reveal myself in this podcast. I had there's two shirts in my life that I've absolutely goddamn loved with all my heart. And then when they went away, I had the Slayer one that had the helmet and the skull thing. And I loved that shirt. And then the other one I had was a Sid Haig House of 1,000 Corpses t-shirt. And I lost that t-shirt. And the story I'm about to tell you right now is shameful in a lot of ways. But there is one perk at the end of it that I was like, huh, well, see. I lost that shirt at a topless bar. And here's how I lost that t-shirt. It all started with a friend of mine. And he was one of those fellas that would get a stack of cash ones, like 200 ones, and he would go to this particular dancing establishment. And I love to go with him because all you got to do is sit right next to him. And he's just plop, plop, he make the flower into a rose. And every guy has been to one of these places at one point in their life. Most people. I'm not saying everyone. But anyways, it was great. And he would always buy the drinks and stuff. So it was really like, okay, I got to go look at a beautiful lady. He's going to keep throwing money over there like bait. And she comes closer to us, so we see. And also, he's going to buy the drinks, the daiquiris, all night, this guy. And so I had a hell of a lot of daiquiris. But here's an interesting thing about that. Is the night, it was a packed house that night, and the reason for that is, what is her name? Janet? The gal was a porn actress, but you would know her from the Blink-182 record, where she's got she's the nurse with the rubber glove. She was performing. And I had a lot of daiquiris. And for some reason, I felt like she was really liking my energy. So first what I did was, I can't remember if I threw up all over my shirt. No, yes, I threw up all over my shirt, daiquiris all over my shirt, and then decided I need to take it off. And then I put it on the floor and started to climb up. This was years ago, people. This wasn't last week. This wasn't last year. This wasn't in the last 20 years, okay? I started to climb up on the stage, and that's when the bouncers grabbed me, took me right outside. There was a cab waiting for me, which was crazy enough. And they said, here's the part I'm happy about, is where they put me in the cab and said, you're not allowed to come here anymore. And they said, take him wherever he needs to go. And I said, yeah, take me home, And they took me home, so I got a free cab ride out of it. And I never, I never went there again. So that's that story about my favorite Sid Haig shirt, because when I woke up the next day, I was extremely upset that I had thrown up and threw my t-shirt on the ground, because that was one of my all-time favorites. Let's get into his book really quick here, and then we're going to move on to your comments. Rob Zombie has released a new spelling book. It's Z is for Zombie. Published by Neckbolt Publishing, the new 76-page. Let's see. How many letters are there? That seems like a lot. That seems like a lot of pages. 76-page hardcover book features artwork from Peter Bregman. The official product description of the book says, it's always more fun to learn with friends, especially when they're House of 1,000 Corpses friends. Rob Zombie presents Z is for Zombie, learning to spell with House of Corpses friends. His baby's going to be in there a couple times, right? Sherry Moon Zombie, his wife, she's going to be in there a lot. And there was only 10 characters, right? So they all got to do it several times, because there's more letters, right? Where aspiring spellers can learn the important words and phrases properly with support from positive role models like Captain Spaulding. That's who the t-shirt was, Captain Spaulding. Baby Firefly, Otis Driftwood, Professor, Doctors, and Dr. Satan, and Rob Zombie himself. Yeah. Learning is just so damn good. Z is for Zombie, learning to spell with House of 1,000 Corpses friends is available now. Holy shit. for $39.99. That's like the price of a Lord of the Ring book. You can get half of the Harry Potter series for that price. Maybe even the whole series used for $39.99. From Amazon, of course. Released in 2003, House of a Thousand Corpses was Zombie's debut as a feature film director. Even though House of a Thousand Corpses was not a box office smash, the relative low-budget flick, which cost a reported $7 million to produce, $12.5 million haul, was enough to make Lionsgate Films happy. 2005, The Devil's Rejects, widely considered Zombie's best film. I would say I like that one. Although I like that witch one too. For whatever reason, everyone goes,
I don't like it.
but I like that one. That might be my favorite scene, is when Sherry Moon Zombie, spoiler alert, is riding that black goat. What is it? Yeah. A clan of psychopathic murderers first introduced in the House of a Thousand Corpses. Let's get into your comments. It is time to get into your comments. I know there's only a few of you left. It's like a battlefield. And there's just a few of us left, man. And I'll tell you what, we're in it together. Okay? I'm feeling great in the, but last time I jinxed it. But I'm feeling great in my gizzards. You know what I almost want to do? I think I'm going to try this. Oh, it's not, okay, so it's not really doing anything. I'm clicking out those damn pages. I want to get the hell off that. I don't know why that malware thing kept coming up, but that was really freaking me out. You can tell in this podcast, you'll say he was very off. He was very concerned. I would say he was a little bit off, a little perturbed, a little concerned about what was happening with the malware. They're going to want to check into those ads that they've got placed because there's something fishy going on. Now, this is a public service announcement because if anyone from Blabbermouth goes, oh my heavens, I just watched Shane's podcast. So that means anyone that's clicking on there might be running into a situation. Johnny B coming in. I just heard the news that the one and only Brent Hines has left Mastodon. Yes, that was another story we weren't going to talk about. I had it lined up and then I clicked it out when I saw Don Dokken. Something seems really off about that. Have you heard any reason as to why at all? This is just flat out sad news. I mean, he's great, and I love the songs that he does. All of those guys are amazing in that band. Every one of them sing and play. And if I was to guess, I think there was a behavioral thing. But I believe that Kelleher or whatever, the other guitar player, made an announcement on that. I know a couple of years ago I was reading a show review by a fan that had a chance to meet him, and they said that he told over the years that he's disliked performing live. I've heard him, Brent was on a podcast of Jamie Josta that I listened to a long time ago where he was like, yeah, he's not a fan of it. Not sure how valid that is or true, but it might have been at least part of the reason. This just sucks. He's a gifted guitar player and essential member, or so I thought. I hope with all I have that he does another Legend of the Siegelman album with Danny Carey. Holy crap. Why does that sound slightly familiar to me? Why does the David Draymond... Hey, don't you got Orb News? I thought you said you were going to do Orb News. Don't do it if you don't want to do it. I'm neither here nor there, whatever. But why does David Draymond think so highly of himself? Way back in 1995, David the Dre Man Draymond announced what the first album he ever bought was, and it was Kiss Destroyer, yeah. Now, 30 years later, he said the second album he bought was We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll by Black Sabbath. So this self-important little jerk wad made his fans wait 30 years to announce that. I know it's rude. I apologize, but I am not a fan of Disturbed or the Dre Man at all. I went and saw them back in 2003 and 2004, and the dude stopped the show to have a mini breakdown about how hard he had it on the road and being a rock star. Oh, those are the worst breakdowns, aren't they? When they're on stage sobbing about how their life is, you're like, I'm standing out here with a sopping wet ass, sweat and disgust all over so I can get up and rock out to your music. You got fans blowing on you up there and a hell of a paycheck, and you're bitching about it? He spoke for like 20 minutes, fired the music back up, gave a half-ass performance for the rest of the show, and stormed off stage like a child. The only good thing about that, the Drayman is an impersonation of himself. The only good thing about the Drayman is we had to fix that, your impression of him. I imagine he really talks like that, like he's higher caliber human or something. This guy is unbelievable. I'm sorry to anyone out there listening that enjoys him and his music. I mean, you're a very lucky person if you're enjoying him. How did you enjoy your evening with me? Did I pleasure you in all the great ways that I know how to do? All right. He's skipping it. That's what Johnny B says. Thanks a lot. I hope you love it. Whatever. I'm skipping it. He puts the skip button on that. Terrible and sad news about Kimberly Birch's death. I followed up, and supposedly there is video of her jumping off the rail. I don't want to see that, but very strange since her mom said she wasn't suffering with depression or anything at that time. Not sure what to think on this one. Yeah. It's always touchy when circumstances happen. You know, but I mean, that's one hell of a, just to go, all right, well, I'm going to walk out there. And another thing is the cruise ships. Why don't you make them goddamn railings higher? You can put a viewing area. They don't have to lean over it like that chick in the movie. Oh my God, Leonardo, I'm the king of the world. You don't have to do that. Put it up higher. Make it at least difficult for them to climb up and jump over it. I mean, but the Royal Caribbean may say, but Shane, we never thought this was going to be an issue. People jumping overboard. That sounds scary. But you've seen those parkour guys. They'll jump from one building to the next. They are living on the edge of life. A lot like Kimberly and Tammy were. They were living, she says, man, we raw dog it and we do all the crazy things. And we have a crazy love. That's what she said in that Valentine's post. As promised, here is the latest and greatest UAP UFO news sweeping the country. Maybe I'll be the news guy. Maybe they'll start clipping this and sending it around the world. You got to listen to this guy. He's totally sane. He really knows what's going on. Shane? No, the guy Johnny B in his comments. You just got to go over to the comments. Don't listen to his fucking podcast. No, just go to the comments. Great. As promised, here's the latest UAP sweeping the country. There was a new documentary that premiered at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, entitled Age of Disclosure. And unless you're just getting into the topic, I would skip it. It covers nothing new at all, and all the usual suspects are in it. Oh, they were going on and on about how it was going to be the biggest thing ever. Nothing new at all, and all the usual suspects are in it, going over the same things they always do. No word on when the public release will be for this, as I'm sure everyone who was featured in it are going over how much money is to be made from their appearance. Sadly, this type of behavior is what plagues the UFO community. Other than that, it was a very quiet week in the UFO news. As of my writing this, he's like in a foxhole in his yard, My dear Shane, there is nothing to report. The UFO, or slash the proper term, UAP, phenomena to report this week. Puts it in. Squaw! Squaw! You know, bird flies off. Gets its little talons over there and types it into my YouTube video. Ah! Jesus. One thing, this is still Johnny B. He says, one thing I will mention is that I did get a chance to watch the 2024 version of Nosferatu. Okay. I highly recommend it, but be warned that it is a bit of a sleeper and takes its time getting to the end. I don't mind a slow rolling movie like Midsummer and Hereditary, and I don't mind boy, that one guy was great with the slow ones. House of the Devil, he did House of the Devil and The Innkeepers. I don't mind a slow movie. Very creepy and extremely gruesome. So if you're into terror horror flicks that are filmed beautifully, I suggest checking it out. It's on Peacock, and you can get a free week by signing up now. You work at Peacock? Just remember to cancel directly after. That's it for me this week. I hope everything is doing great. And remember, keep looking up and keep asking questions as always. Yeah, perfect. Very good, very good. Mike Buchanan coming in here. My heavens, my heavens. I'm going to go buy some lottery tickets. I got the pee break 2 weeks in a row. Shane, the short video on YouTube is where you go and talk about your videos for like a minute. Oh, okay. And we get some Shane on Shane action, the ultimate goal of video reaction. I mean, that really is, huh? You're bringing a good point to my mind, is that doing shorts about things that I reacted to on my reaction channel, so it is technically me reacting to the reaction of me reacting to. You're very smart. That's why they have you working alone in that windowless room. On the week's movies that are bad, but we love them anyways, The Gate. I haven't seen that since probably 1987. Parents leave for a few days, so the kids are left in charge. They end up listening to heavy metal music played backwards while reciting arcane phrases and unwittingly opening a gate to hell in the backyard. Thought the VHS cover art was pretty good for that, too. You always went, ooh, we gotta rent that next week. Want to rent that one next week? We'll rent The Howling this week because it's got the naked ladies in it, and then we'll rent that one. The story is decent. The film has a kid's-focused perspective that reminds me of a Steven Spielberg film, a la E.T., The Goonies, or Explorers. It's a bunch of kids from the 80s having to deal with scary stuff, kind of like Stranger Things, but only smaller budget and with old-timey special effects. The special effects are actually another charm of the film. Released from the gate is a horde of tiny demon minions, which are a mix of some excellent stop-motion animation and also some forced perspective shots of full-size actors in rubber suits made to look small. The effects are wildly charming for fans of old-school practical special effects. Another novelty of the film is a very young Stefan Dorff. Yes. You're going to tell us, I can't remember what he was in. In his film debut, playing the main character, a young boy being babysat over the weekend by his big sister and hanging out with his nerdy metalhead friends. They are a likable group of kids, which gives the film a nice family feel, which is a change of pace from the most teen horror films of the 80s. What's also interesting is that although it does, I'm holding my hand really weird here. You know, I'm holding it really weird and tense, like I'm getting through it if I just keep going. And I was on such a good run there, and now I got to use the restroom. It doesn't shy away from being scary. Don't get me wrong, this film isn't Demons or Hellraiser, but it's much scarier than, say, more family-friendly horror films like Critters and Monster Squad. Overall, The Gate is a film worthy of its cult status and is a unique horror film that's well worth watching. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn, and press play on that damn machine. Mike Buchanan says, I'm going to fully admit I don't understand the changing of Ghost singer names. But hey, whatever. If they like to confuse their fans, so be it. While I'm not a fan, I will also admit Tobias does have an excellent voice. I mean, he really does. He sounds like a blue jay. I mean, I understand that, though, because it almost seemed like after the second or third record it was an afterthought, but now he's kind of getting into mythos of the characters and all of that stuff. Now, some ghost freak is going to say, I'm a bigger fan than you because I know all the ghost lore. And I say you probably are. You know, there's a lot of songs I skip. I'll be quite frank with you. And there's a lot of songs that I skip that they play live sometimes. Most of the time. And yes, Shane, that's a viral TikTok video. Okay. Now, what he's mentioning here is that I had a TikTok that got it's now at 6.2 million views. And I didn't know if that was viral or not. So, yes, Shane, that is a viral TikTok video. We've always loved those toes tapping and ass clapping phrase around here. Because, yeah, I just noticed a lot of people saying it. And I don't want some hip chick, you know, Kesha or Billie Eilish, to go, I don't know, guys, it just got my toes tapping and ass clapping, without someone going, I know where you got that. I know exactly where you got that. So you need to do a TikTok, tell this to Billie Eilish. You need to do a TikTok and tell Shane. Tell people to go over and like his channel. I have zero memories of Draymond being asked to fill in for Ozzy. Doesn't mean that it didn't happen. I think this was probably just more backstage amongst, you know, those people. And I'm sure he would have been fantastic if he had. I bought a toothbrush, some toothpaste, a flannel for my face, pajamas, a hairbrush, new shoes, and a case. I said to my reflection, let's get out of this place. That's some inside stuff there. Mike Buchanan knows squeeze. Because, yeah. Tempted by the fruit of another. All right, here we go. And now, it is time. Jive Talkin jokes of the week, and then restroom break before Big Tone. Why did the pig cross the road to go wee, wee, wee all the way home? Why can't cats play poker in the jungle? Too many cheetahs. Why did the python cross the road? Because it swallowed the chicken. Got a burp coming in there. And finally, did you that the inventor of autocorrect has died? See, I don't want to mess with anything because it's going to be part of the joke. Did you that the inventor of autocorrect has died? Restaurant in peace. I'll see myself out now. Well done, well done. Did we do that? Make sure the hearts. Okay, bathroom. Everybody's coming over to the podcast tonight. Isn't that better though? That I'm not walking out of the room and leaving you guys hanging there just to get a couple more pennies. You know, because the video's playing and you guys don't fast forward. You watch the whole thing with all the pauses in it and everything. We got Big Tone coming in. He says, as a close personal friend of mine, the great Shane Diablo once coined toes tapping and ass clapping, often imitated, never duplicated. I can just see some pop divas using it. I don't see Zach Wilde, or I don't see some, fucking Phil Anselmo saying, the toes was tapping and the ass was clapping. Phil Anselmo has never said ass clapping in his life. Never. But I feel like some kind of pop divas are going to say it. Somebody's going to, and they're going to take it to the roof. They're going to be t-shirts and everything, say toes tapping, ass clapping, say, they'll be in the commercial. Hey, who's that? It's so-and-so. Hey, keep them toes tapping and ass clapping. And I'm just sitting over here and soiled in my shorts, just sitting over here in my own muck, watching somebody take off with my phrase. No. That's why I got you guys to say, that's copyright, pal. Always enjoy Jive Talkin', as you and the Diabolicals know all too well. We got your back, brother. Keep 'em coming. Heavy metal, horns up. Emoticon. A Sunday gravy. Oh, yes. He mentioned Sunday gravies, and I says, was it the brown or whites? Sunday gravy is Italian. Is that bologna? Bologna sauce? I swear it's like Bolognese or something. Italian. Okay. And Sunday gravy is Italian bologna sauce, cooked all day Sunday. Oh, yeah. Served over fresh fucking pasta. Mozzarella? You putting a little mozzarella in it? It's an Italian dish. Just like Jive Talkin'. 2 more heavy metal emoticons for me. That is 3 heavy metal emoticons for this guy. I'm sorry. Miss Althea coming in here very tight. Tight little paragraph here this week. But she's busy. She got things to do. This ain't the only thing that she, does with her life. The Dumbstruck Fool says, toes tapping and ass clapping, branding, darling, t-shirts, stickers, everything. And yeah, don't tell Gene Simmons. And it's got a money sign for the S. Miss Althea on Tobias Fjorke. He looks like he could be one of James Hetfield's math students. Yes. Aussie influence aside, I only know 4 or 5 songs about Ghost, and I have been saying for at least 2 years, maybe longer, that I am going to investigate them further, but I have yet to do so. It's still on my list, and that can be the thing too. People can get to things or not get to things whenever they feel like it. The Drayman, Miss Althea coming in about the Drayman. Drayman in for Ozzy. Indeed, a huge honor and equally huge shoes to fill. I hope all goes well with the performance. You mean Ozzy's performance? Boy, how would that be if it's like they do the Black Sabbath show and they're like, Sharon comes out. Oh, we're so sad, but we can't even. Ozzy's got a frog in his throat. So we got David the Drayman over here. He's going to finally fill in for that show. Tame Me Down. Miss Althea on Tame Me Down. Here we go. My jaw literally dropped when I saw the story when it broke. I seriously thought it was fake news. It was so insane. I pray Kimberly's family get the answers and the justice they deserve. I also pray for Tammy's sobriety. He finally got cleaned up after many years, and he has already lost another girlfriend to either suicide or car accident. Really? I don't recall which. Faster Pussycat's song, Please Dear, is dedicated to her. We may have to do a deep dive into Tame Me Down, guys. One of my investigatory videos. Find out what's going on. Miss Althea on Johnny B and Mike B with their comment closing taglines. I feel like I need one now. How about Keep it bitchy. Everybody can have a tagline. I am like Peter Pan. I am sprinkling the magic to you. And I'm saying, don't cut your stuff short if you've got things to say. And you're welcome to have a tagline, phrase line. So very, 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 very good. And as far as the branding and stuff goes, I'm just so good. I'm so lazy. I feel like, I don't know. Jolly Jake coming in here. I agree, Shane. He's the final one. I agree, Shane. It's not how much you can gain and keep, but how much you can give and share that defines being rich and wealthy. Here's what I'll say about that. I don't care what anybody says. Whatever holiday you celebrate where you give a gift to someone, that interaction right there makes you feel fantastic. Especially if, you go out of your way and you get them the thing that they really wanted or whatever like that. That feeling right there cannot be duplicated in any other way. So the more you hog and keep for yourself, it's like a negative or a lower kind of a vibration. But the more you give away, give out, and watch people light up, that is magic. That is true magic. So, yes, indeed, giving is, they've said it before, they'll say it again, but old richest man in the world, who I won't even say his damn name now because he's garbage man, that guy could single-handedly cure world hunger and still be a billionaire. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, we're done with all that. I don't want to get into that. But, because I am on a different plane, you see. I have cut out all of it. All the war, all the this, all the that, and I feel great. I have my own new reality, and it doesn't involve any of that. Any of that old stuff. Like I said before, everything to me looks old. Every outside looks old to me. It looks worn up, beaten up. It looks 50 years behind. I don't know why, but I just look around and I feel like I'm back in time somehow. Are we still dealing with these kinds of problems in 2025? You cannot be serious. I am. It was very preachy, wasn't it? That's it, dear. I'm never listening to another one of his podcasts because I made it through all of that fun. I made it to the last 10 minutes of his podcast, and it was a long, miserable son of a bitch to get through, and then he started talking about shit. He started talking about real stuff, real life. Anyways, I just... Good tone. I think I might have something in the pipes. I think I might have something cooking and brewing. Shane's so fine with that sweet voice. It keeps me up at night. And I can't wait for the next episode. I'm going to learn how to play this son of a bitch one day. Girl, let's go. I'm lost. I'm falling apart. Falling apart at the seams. Next time we'll do it better, but this one shit, so we're gonna leave right now. oh.